Welcome to Native Bidaské, Native News Online's weekly spotlight on the people making news and leading change in Indian country.
Welcome to another episode of Native Bidaské. I'm Levi Rickert, publisher and editor of Native News Online. This week we have a very special guest, Sterlin Harjo, who is the creator of Reservation Dogs. And Sterlin is finishing up Reservation Dogs. The last episode is shown just this past week. And so we are going to talk to him and see what he's going to do in the future. But much success to Sterlin. Let me tell you a little bit about Sterlin. He is a Seminole and he's Muscogee. He's an award-winning filmmaker from Holdenville, Oklahoma. Now he's based in Tulsa, working on a bunch of other projects that we'll talk to him about. But his Reservation Dogs just really took off, and he was a former member of, and he still actually may be a member of 1491s. That's a comedy group that many of us knew about. That's where we got familiar with Sterlin before Reservation Dogs took off. And so welcome, Sterlin, to Native Bidaské. Sterlin, congratulations on the success of Reservation Dogs. And let me ask you a question. Did you ever conceive that it would be as successful as it became?
I conceived it because I hoped that it would, but I didn't know. I mean, you never know, right? Mm-hmm. I just, I made a lot of films. I made a lot of films that never saw the light of day. I made a lot of films that saw a few people, a few festivals, things like that. So, that was my experience. I knew with this that I had an opportunity and I had the network behind it. And if done right, it could be great. And I just knew that I needed to swing for the fences.
Well, I'm glad you.
I knew. Yeah.
I'm glad you swung for the fences. So go ahead.
I just knew that I needed to swing for the fences, and I had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And I was just going to go for it and try everything in my arsenal as a storyteller to do, and that's what I did. And when we were shooting the pilot, I noticed how the audience was, or the crew was laughing so much. Mm-hmm. And I was just looking around. I was like, man, I think we got something, mm-hmm. I don't know for sure, but I think we do.
Yeah, it's always amazing the magic that happens with certain, like Seinfeld comes to my mind in the non-native realm, obviously. And the chemistry between those actors is just phenomenal. It's very rarely done in Friends and some of the others, but it's certainly the chemistry worked on Reservation Dogs. So congratulations again.
I can just say that it was a lot of hard work mm-hmm. and luck, but also something else was at play. I think that it was something bigger than me, the universe, creator, whatever that is. I mm-hmm. think that there was something else guiding this, and I felt it, and the writers felt it, and the cast felt it, and it was a lot of things that were lining up perfectly as we went. And I think things are just, there's certain things that are touched and are meant to happen. And this was meant to happen. And that, when the actors had met once before, but we had not worked together. And I brought them, and a day before we start shooting, we did a reading, kind of a rehearsal together. Mm-hmm. And it was obvious then that I'd picked the right people. And as soon as we turned the cameras on and they would start interacting, it was magical. It was truly magical. And it just, everything was fitting and everything was working. Mm-hmm. And everything was really beautiful. And it just worked out so well.
Magical and amazing. That is great. Hey, throughout the series, there was a lot of messaging that I picked up on that, and maybe that's because I'm a Native American journalist, but you were trying to get some messages through to maybe to America in general, or who those watching, those who may not have been Native Americans. But I think you try to portray the message of what it's like to be Native American in contemporary times. Is there one message that really sticks out in your mind, Sterlin, that was important for non-natives to know about us?
Yeah, I think that it's that we are community driven, and that we take care of each other, and we are, we hold community very high in our culture. And, that's how we teach. That's how we learn. That's how we grieve. It's how we live. And that's so important. And I think that, whenever you hear a Native person say, I felt uncomfortable, I was surrounded by white people, I think that that's not because of the color of their skin or anything. It's just that non-natives don't understand how community driven we are. And we don't understand if something doesn't feel community driven. And it's foreign to us. And I think that letting non-natives understand how important community is to us, I think that in turn will help them be educated on how we live and vice versa. And I think that it would be a very positive thing.
Yeah, I was also very impressed with when you talk about community driven, how you try to incorporate so much of the community. I mean, it could be the Native American art in the background of the set. And I really appreciate that. It's just, that goes a long way in Indian country, and certainly I like when I go travel, I like to stay in the Indian casinos and eat in the restaurants that are owned by tribal communities. It's just keeping that money flowing, right? And but I really like that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that was one of the coolest things that I don't think a lot of people pick up on is that we really did all Native artists from across the country were being incorporated into the show and being into the fabric of the show, and lots of Native crew members, people really cared and were really making sure we were supporting community and really keeping, it's easy to copy something, but like we wanted to honor all of those artists in our community and make sure that they also benefited from this show. And, it was a beautiful thing. It was really, really, really beautiful.
Yeah. And I liked how authentic some of the props were. So they weren't fake. You didn't have to go down to Target and get that and say, let's make this look native. They were real. It was a real thing. So that's really cool. So yeah. Hey, there seems to be, and I've heard tribal leaders talk about it and other people in the arts talk about, there seems to be a moment for Native Americans right now in the arts, and, especially with Deb Holland and where she is in Washington at the Department of the Interior. Talk about that. And how do you keep the momentum going for that moment that Native American actors and producers, writers can really achieve some great success during this moment? And how do you keep that moment going?
I think that I think it's already going, and I don't think it's going to stop. I mean, I think there has been a renaissance in Native and Indian country. I think that the cat's out of the bag, and I think that it was time for me to move to the side and let some of these other artists also develop their shows and get those shows out there. There's also shows that I'm producing with friends of mine that you'll recognize from being creators on the show. I'm producing shows for people. I mean, it's not stopping. Okay. It's happening. It's already, the train has left the station, and and there's a lot of people that jumped on board, and we're going to keep doing it.
Yeah, that was a fear, I believe, once we heard that this is the last season of Reservation Dogs, that, boy, this train is going to slow down now. But what you're telling me, Sterlin, is it's going to keep going. And tell us some of the projects, if you can talk about them. Please tell us.
Yeah, I mean, I have a project with Janice Goulet. She directed Mabel season 2. She also directed the first episode of this season, and an episode she directed the Deer Lady episode. And the project that we're doing, I won't go too deeply into it, but it does have to do with boarding schools. And it's a really powerful episode show. And I think that us doing that Deer Lady episode together was kind of us like a pilot for what we're doing, just to see how we could tell that story respectfully and bring an audience with us, and I think that I'm really excited for that show. It's really powerful.
Well, I'm excited for you because it is one of those stories of American history, not American Indian history, but American history, albeit dark chapter in American history, the Indian boarding schools. We at Native News Online have done over 200 stories about that. And it just resonates, and those stories have to be told. So kudos to you for that. That's wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very looking forward to that show.
And I know we have limited time.
I have a show with Ethan Hawke, who's in season 3. I've got a couple projects that I'm developing with him specifically, and one of them is a Native project, and the other one's kind of a crazy crime story. But looking forward to doing those. I'm doing a Jim Thorpe movie. I'm excited for that. And
a Jim Thorpe movie, you said?
Yeah, I'm doing a Jim Thorpe movie.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and so there's a lot coming, man. I'm excited. I mean, that's part of, this show was ending because the story ended, but also there's a lot of other stuff to be doing.
Yeah.
I want to work with all these actors again and see them keep going,
Do you sleep? You seem like your creative mind has gotten going. So when do you get any rest, man?
I know, I work a lot. I'm pretty good, though, about shutting off. I'm pretty good about that. But, at the same time, I'm buried right now, I'm buried in work.
Hey, you sound like a publisher of Native News. I'm buried all the time. But no, congratulations. And you're much more successful. And thank you very much for all you do for Indian country.
Y'all are great. Y'all been really great supporters.
Okay. Yes.
Really, really happy to be doing this.
Well, listen, I know you have limited time. Come back and visit us on on Native News Online again, and we would just love to talk to you. And as some of the new projects unfold, we really would love to cover them.
Totally. Do it.
Okay. Chief McGwitch to you, Sterling. Have a good day now.
Then hold on to your seats. Caught you all red-handed.
I'm innocent.
Guilty by association. You're gonna learn to be a man today.
This is riveting.
Your dad, he's around if you wanted to meet him.
Just go look for him. Just show up and say, hey, it's me, your daughter.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
FX's Reservation Dogs, now streaming only on Hulu.
Chief McGwitch to you, Sterlin Harjo, for joining us on Native Bidaské. And to our audience, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Native Bidaské. We'll be back next week with a very special guest. So in the meantime, be safe. Take care of your kids, your elders, and call your elders and tell them you love them. Chief McGwitch.
If you appreciate what we do here at Native News Online, we invite you to donate to support our continued work covering Indian country. You can scan this code with your smartphone or go to the link located below this video to donate today. We greatly appreciate your support. Please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And be sure to scan this code or go to the link below to subscribe to our newsletter. Thank you for joining us today, and please be sure to join us again next week for another episode of Native Bidaské. Chi miigwech.